Welcome to the Ashmolean Museum and the Viewing Art Mindfully podcast. My name is Ruth Collins and I'm a trained mindfulness teacher working with the Ashmolean. I would like to introduce you to the practices you will be doing today. We will begin with a mindful arriving and preparing to view practice. This will be followed by a talk from one of the curators from the Ashmolean, who will guide you mindfully through a specially selected object from the museum. Coming to settle. Ideally, you will be sitting on a seat that supports you to be upright, relaxed, but alert, with your feet placed easily on the floor in front of you. If you feel comfortable about doing so, allowing your eyes now to close, otherwise letting your gaze drop and soften so that you are not looking at anything in particular. Setting an intention now to arrive fully by connecting with a sense of the body sitting. Perhaps you can feel the distribution of the body's weight on the chair. Let yourself be fully supported by whatever you are sitting on. Once you feel settled, just checking in with your position. You might want to adjust your posture slightly to feel more comfortable. It can be helpful to lengthen the back a little, relaxing your shoulders, opening your chest, tucking your chin in slightly to elongate the spine to allow for a smooth flow of breath from the nose or the mouth all the way down to the abdomen and back again. Now, bring your awareness all the way down to your feet, with the intention not being to think about your feet, but to feel sensations in the feet. Notice the point at which your feet make contact with the floor, the balls and the heels of the feet, the toes. Perhaps you can feel the toes lightly touching each other, or maybe you can feel the texture of any material that's resting on the feet, or the firmness of footwear encasing them. Allow yourself to gently and curiously explore each and every sensation that you can detect. And if you can't feel anything, that's fine too. Just being curious about this also. All the while, the mind will intrude and try to pull your attention away from the focus of the feet. Whenever this happens, as best you can, coming back to simply feeling sensations in your feet once more. Now letting go of your feet, turn your attention to your seat, your buttocks, your sit bones, your thighs on the chair. Bring your awareness to the sensations of sitting, the firmness of the chair beneath you, the point at which the thighs extend beyond the end of the seat, perhaps, the sensations of clothing in contact with the skin. Maintaining as best you can a simple, non-judgmental curiosity as you explore sensations of touch and pressure, returning to the anchor of sitting whenever the mind tries to entice you away to think about something else. As soon as you notice this happening, bringing your awareness mindfully back to whatever sensations you can identify while sitting on the chair. Moving the attention away from sitting now and shifting the focus of your awareness to your hands. Feel your hands whilst they're still. Perhaps the hands are resting on each other, or laying on your lap, or the chair arms. Just taking a moment or two to explore sensations wherever you notice them. A feeling of roughness or smoothness from the surface they are lying on. A sense of softness or firmness of touch. There may be skin-to-skin contact where the hands connect. A sense of the spread or closeness of the fingers and thumbs. Working from the tips of the fingers all the way through the hands now. The backs of the hands, the knuckles, the palms. You may feel coolness or warmth as the air lightly brushes over the skin. The mind will wander as minds do. Whenever this happens, patiently and gently returning your focus to the physical feelings and sensations of the hands. Letting go of the hands now, bringing your awareness to your upper body and to the sensations of breathing. Not needing to change how you're breathing, but just tuning in to the natural rhythm of the breath that is already there breathing for you. Notice how the abdomen gently rises and falls as you inhale and exhale. For a moment or two, just focusing on following one breath all the way in and one breath all the way out. Perhaps being aware of a slight pause between the breath as you breathe in and the breath as you breathe out. If the mind drifts away or gets caught up in thinking, simply drawing your attention back once more to the anchor of the breath and the body sitting here breathing. With full awareness of the body sitting here, right now, and whilst continuing to keep the eyes closed or the gaze softened, gently expanding the spotlight of your attention to become aware of sensations in the body as a whole. Perhaps you feel the body moving slightly with the breath. A slight rocking or swaying, or points at which the body makes contact with another surface, a slight tingling sensation, the coolness or warmth of the skin. Widening your awareness further, perhaps you can detect other things through the senses too. Maybe you can hear sounds around you, sounds near and far. Keeping the focus on the aliveness of your senses, preparing to open your eyes now, ready to bring your full attention to the work of art presented in front of you.
We're looking at a landscape. But this isn't a landscape that exists anywhere in the world. It's an idealised vision of an idealised past. Our eye is invited to wander through this lush, bluey green world, from the rocks, soft bushes and inviting water in the foreground, to the distant blue hills in the distance. The artist isn't interested in botanical or geological realism. Look at the way all the bushes appear the same, with leaves of no particular shape. The glorious smooth blue of the river with a boat moored on its far shore doesn't convince as a river about to reach the sea. This is a landscape imagined rather than seen. It's also carefully constructed. Its expansive view is neatly framed by small trees on an outcrop and a city on a mountaintop to the right, and taller wispy trees and ancient-looking ruins to the left. There's a sense of tranquility, perhaps of permanence, but time is passing. In the middle distance, drovers drive animals with their loads across a bridge. It's the end of the day. Notice how the sun catches the city on the mountainside in the distance and the trees beyond the brow of the hill on the left, while a cooler light suffuses the foreground. A breeze catches the top of the trees, their fluffy heads bend to the right, and we can imagine the grey clouds scudding across the sky. Night is coming, and perhaps a storm is brewing. Into this world come men with dogs and spears. Striding forward in a clearing on the left, dressed in blue with a vivid orange cloak, is a tall, elongated figure with his bow drawn. Behind him, his entourage, dressed in armour and some leading hunting dogs, emerge into the clearing. We can imagine their noise breaking the tranquillity and silence of the evening. The leader's unfeasibly long arrow is pointing across the picture towards a stag. The stag, its flank catching the sunlight in a way that defies logic, does not flee in terror, but turns its head and meets the gaze of his assailant. Eyes meet across the picture plane. Time stands still, as it always does in paintings, and we hold our breath before the arrow is loosed and the stag falls. This is the last painting, made by the great French 17th century artist Claude Lorraine. It's an idealised version of nature, albeit inspired by the Italian countryside around Rome with its remnants of the classical past, which he had invented and depicted in countless paintings throughout his life. Landscapes bathed in the soft light of evening or morning, dotted with classical ruins and temples, with views across water, framed by trees to distant blue hills. This vision was immensely influential, not only on other landscape painters, but on how people looked at and appreciated nature itself. In Britain, most famously, it led to landscape gardeners remodelling nature in the 18th century landscape gardens of Capability Brown and his contemporaries to make it more like Claude's vision, while travellers were encouraged to find views like Claude's paintings, framed by trees to distant hills on their travels. Claude's nature is unthreatening, verdant and warm, a vision of the world in which people and nature are in harmony, of herdsmen and shepherds, and gods and nymphs. This painting has all these elements, a summation of Claude's Arcadian pastoral vision painted at the end of his life. But it also suggests the fragility of this perfect world. The story it tells comes from the Aeneid, the Roman poem by Virgil, which describes Aeneas's travels after the Trojan War, which lead him to Italy, where his descendants were to found Rome. Here we are in Italy, in the kingdom of Latium. The tall, elongated figure on the left, whose cloak provides the only flash of red in the entire painting, drawing our eye to him, is Aeneas's son, the young teenage hothead Ascanius. The stag he is about to kill, whose bright flank stands out against the dark foliage, is no ordinary deer. This is the pet, tame stag of Silvia, the daughter of Tyrrheus, ranger to the king of the Latins in Latium. This fateful shot and the killing of this favoured deer will lead to war. Knowledge of the subject redirects us to the painting's details. The city of the Latins catching the last of the evening sun before its fall. The stormy clouds suggesting the clouds of war. The classical ruins perhaps also suggesting the ravages of the war to come. but these are distinctly Roman ruins. The four fluted columns topped with Corinthian capitals would have reminded viewers of the ruins of temples in the Forum of Rome, while the domed building beyond, behind the trees, recalls the famous Roman Pantheon. Their presence is clearly anachronistic. Ruins of ancient Rome in a scene set before Rome's foundation. But this anachronism is itself suggestive. We see, in Ascanius's confrontation with the stag of Sylvia, the fateful moment that will lead to the war between the Trojans and the Latins, and that in turn will lead to the foundation and rise of Rome. But, as the ruins remind us, Rome itself will rise and fall. Peace, tranquility, permanence and harmony, as embodied in Claude's lush landscape vision, is fragile and illusory. Time continues to pass. But for now we pause. The arrow has not yet flown. The stag does not comprehend its danger, and the landscape invites us to lose ourselves within it.